As I mentioned at the beginning, I've had some 20 years with GSK and with its former businesses, and actually it's been an incredible journey over the last 20 years to spend that time across a number of commercial functions and learning an awful lot about myself, about how to build teams and how to build brands and customer relationships within the consumer healthcare space. The 20 years has spanned a career in really all of the commercial functions, from consumer and shopper marketing through to business insights, to category management and category development, through to sales and commercial leadership positions. Over my 20 years, I've been involved in a number of mergers, in acquisitions, in divestments, in site moves, but all of that time really focused on building high-performing teams and really focused on developing talent through the organisation. It's been rewarding, it's been challenging, and I think the career I've had has really helped me to develop personally and also to develop as a leader. And actually there's a few things that I would like to share with you about my experiences in consumer healthcare and some of the things that actually I've learnt along the way and on the journey that I've had with this organisation. I think things I would ask each of you to really think hard about as you make your career choices, and particularly as you make your choices around your future employer and your future destination as you progress through your MBA studies. Firstly, and I mentioned this up front about our leaders in GSK and anybody who would potentially work for GSK needing to support our mission. I think it's very, very important, and I would ask you to really carefully consider, is the organisation that you are thinking of connecting with one that you can identify with in terms of its values and in terms of its mission? So I think with GSK we've shared some information on the video. I've shared a very, very brief overview about our organisation, and with our consumer business, really think about, is that a mission and are those a set of values that you can identify with? And actually, what is it that motivates you? That would really be my first suggestion as you progress through your MBA studies. Really thinking about, can you identify with the organisation? Secondly, as you build your career, be really clear on your aspirations. Where is it you want to go? Who is it you want to be? And what kind of experiences do you want to get from your career, particularly in the early years of your career? I can speak from personal experience. It's very difficult to predict perhaps more than 5 or 10 years out, but what I would say is be very clear on your aspirations, but be very flexible on how you get there. Businesses will change, organisations will change. You will see, as I've experienced, divestment, you will see acquisitions, you will see site moves, you will see restructuring, and you have to have a degree of flexibility and agility as you reach your short, mid and long-term goals. So I think really be clear on your aspirations, but also be flexible on how you might get there. That was point 2. Point 3, I was very fortunate, and I talked about the experience I had across a number of commercial functions, but really I would call that getting breadth, and really focus on getting some breadth in your career from an early stage. The breadth example I've shared is one around functions, so whether that was the functional discipline of marketing or the functional discipline of sales. But think about other breadth moves that you could make, whether that's working in different markets, in different cultures, or indeed it may be immersing yourself in different projects or different divisions of an organisation. Really focus on the breadth, and I think that will help you to better define your aspirations, and it will also help you to better define some of the experiences you will need longer term. I guess number 4 would be really understand the end-to-end journey of the products and services in your organisation. I had a very fortunate formative experience in the first 2 years of my career in working in an office environment that was embedded within the factory of the business. And actually we did everything from product concept through to delivery of the product within around 26 weeks, and everything was developed on the site. What that enabled me to do was to really understand everything from insights around the consumer and the shopper through to how we would develop a new product or a new service, all the way through to the commercial delivery of that and how we would engage with shoppers, with healthcare professionals, and also then with our trade customers. So really understand the end-to-end journey of the products and services that get developed. That will give you a very thorough understanding and grounding of the full organization and not then just one specific function. I'd also urge you, it sounds a little cliche, but I think it's very true and apt, really get outside of your comfort zone and be curious. Be curious about yourself and your own development areas and where you need to gain experience. Also be curious about how the organization works and really seek out new experiences and think about where it is that you can gain those experiences either through interactions with others, through formal training programs, or most likely and in the main, through experiences that you will have in your role and on the job. A really important observation that I've developed over time, and I see people being very successful here, is really tune into not only your own individual development needs, but really tune into the needs of the organization. Organizations, as individuals will do, will grow, will develop, will evolve, and will have new needs constantly. So really focus as you develop and as you grow and you succeed and move through an organization, really focus on what it is that the organization needs, as well as what are your own personal needs, and get those in the right balance and get those in the right proportion. Very simple, but I would urge you to really think about building on your network, build a strong network within an organization, and really seek out a senior level sponsor that understands you well, can promote your cause, and really can help you navigate your career through an organization. So really important that you build a network as well as building your experiences, and that you have a senior level sponsor. Be very clear as you move through your MBA studies, and I would urge you to do it now if you haven't done already. Really think about your personal brand. What is it you stand for? What are your strengths? What are your development areas? And what can people expect from you? So really develop your own personal brand and constantly seek out feedback from others on how that brand is perceived and also on where your development areas are. So really, really ask for the feedback, take it on board and develop as a result of that. And a couple of final, I guess, observations that I have and things I'd like to share with you. Be prepared to take some risks. You will have no doubt read through your studies about captains of industry who've taken risks and made some mistakes. You won't be successful unless you take risks, and very likely you won't be successful and learn unless you've made some mistakes as well. So really put yourself in those positions where you can take some calculated risks and really think about what the lessons are from some of the mistakes that you may make. I've made many, many mistakes in my 20-year career journey, but I think it leads you to be a more rounded commercial leader longer term. And I think finally, but certainly by no means least, have some fun along the way. Really important that you enjoy what you do. Find the people that you like to engage with. Be true to yourself and be true to your identity. I talked about your own personal brand. Bring that to work every day. Bring that to your studies every day. And have some fun as you go along the way on your journey. Really important that you enjoy what you do and be very clear with yourself about the things that you like and give you an immense amount of enjoyment and fun, and perhaps also be honest with yourself about those areas that perhaps you find more cumbersome and more difficult. But so important to have some fun and enjoyment along the way. And perhaps ultimately, don't take yourself too seriously. take your career journey seriously, but learn to reflect on yourself, to laugh at yourself, and actually to have some fun in the work environment too.